Yo, what's up? I'll make this super quick. I think I've said this before, but honestly, I really do mean this. If you are new to producing, please, 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 or if you are already like an advanced producer, my word of advice, I watch too much plugin videos, best plugins, coolest plugins. I was I was collecting drum kits and sounds, off like Reddit and Discords. Same thing with like Serum Banks and all these different banks, man. And when I first started, it doesn't matter what I did, it was gonna end up pretty ass, right? And so I wanted to have fun with making music, and so I was just picking random sounds, right? Because I wasn't too focused on making good music, because I know as a beginner, you're really trying to make music. When you first start making music, you're making noise. You're not making music, you're making noise, right? And part of the make music making process is sound selection. So on one hand, collecting different sounds is great because you get exposed to a bunch of different stuff. But as you do more and more, you start to realize the differences are so minor, no one in their right mind is gonna even notice. All right, like if you are going through a bunch of different drums, right? And different snares, man. Do you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to go through these snares if you have too many of them, looking for the right snare? And if you never like sit down and start like filtering and you're like, okay, this is what I want, this is the sound I like, I'm gonna keep this. You're gonna have too much shit. You know what I mean? Because making music is already a long process. If you make a beat, before you even make the beat, you have to curate the sounds, right? That you're gonna make for the beat. You have to get the right 808, right instrument. First of all, you gotta set up the MIDI first, right? And then start like selecting the instruments for the MIDI. Well, if you collect a bunch of like serum banks and you make the mistake I did, which is I didn't favorite anything. I was just always picking randomly, right? And I was surprising myself. But eventually I got so tired of making music like that because I was like, this is not the music I want to make. This is the music I end up making, right? Which is this just fundamentally what happens when you first start making music. You make the music you are able to make, not necessarily the music that you want to make. But the reason I even bring this up is because once you get to the point where you feel like you can make the music that's in your head, if you have too much shit, it's gonna be such a pain in the ass to make the music you want because you know exactly what you want, but then you have too much crap getting in your way, right? So you really have to start filtering. You do not need more sounds or drums. You just need the drums that you need, that you like, and keep on filtering. Eventually, like quality over quantity in terms of collecting sounds and one shots and loops and whatnot, right? Like quality over quantity, because the thing is, you want to make the process from nothing to a completely mixed and I could say mastered, but mastering, if you're a home studio, does not matter. Mix is more important, and then slap like a clipper and a compressor and a limiter, and you're good to go. Like, don't overthink it. Like, most of your work and effort is gonna be in the mixing stage, all right? But that's still a long ass process. So that's one of the things I would also say. Like, just focus on quality, because the thing is, listen, I could go ahead and straight up just, throw all of this shit in the trash. But I can't bring myself. I feel like I have to sit down and filter, because there might be some gems, I might be sifting for gold through the dirt, and I have to accept that. But man, is it such a pain in the ass. I say, if you do, start collecting drum kits, because I mean there's a reason like people collect plugins and shit like that and drums. That's part of, I think, the music community, and different sounds. But yo, I would say as early as possible, just start filtering it and start favoriting and start deleting shit so you don't have a bundle of bullshit. All right, that's one of the things I recommend. The other thing I recommend is, listen, mixing and mastering plugins and that analog warmth and the different sounds that these plugins have, like different compressors have, is negligible. All right, no one has like headphones to even like decipher it. Who the hell is gonna be able to tell the difference between this type of LA2A or this other company's like compressor that does the job of an LA2A? You know what I mean? Like, fuck it though. Like, who even knows the sound of a LA2? Some people might, okay, but that shit doesn't matter, because that, like, a compressor is a utility. You know what I mean? It's for balancing and keeping your audio the same height or whatever, so there's no like spikes, when you like shout or something, because that shit's uncomfortable to listen. It makes sound even and smooth. Bro, a compressor might have some type of sonic quality to it, but like no one cares. Like literally no one cares, bro. Like, just, and if you have too many plugins, if you collect too much free shit, right, and you have too many plugins, you're gonna have a bunch of plugins you don't really know how to use to do the job. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to figure shit out. Things might be, you're not gonna develop the muscle memory, which is another thing. Is don't bother, bro. Like, mixing and mastering plugins, like, that shit's not artistic. It could be, but like, bro, if you're trying to make music and you're not a professional engineer, bro, just use that shit as a tool. Like, when you're using Photoshop, there's the toolbar, right? You have the select tool, you have the magic wand. Like, treat it like that. Don't bother with anything else, bro. Like, don't treat that as a creative plugin. If anything, the only plugins you should be collecting are creative plugins. Creative plugins like what? I don't know. Shaperbox, Infiltrator, like something that makes stutters. That one sample plugin, I don't remember what it's called. That chop loops and stuff like that. Thermal. What else am I gonna say? I'm trying to think of one more off the top of my head. Thermal. Oh, the output one that does whatever. That output one that adds like cool effects. Portal. Portal, right? Focus on collecting, or like Glitch 2 or whatever those plugins are, right? Collect creative effects plugins, but don't bother with mixing and mastering plugins, man. It's a pain in the ass. And I would honestly recommend, if you are a home studio, bro, like, get some Isotope, get Sonobo, man. Like, you don't want to spend your entire life grinding fucking mixing and mastering that no one's gonna give a fuck. Like, if you're making your music at home, what matters is a finished listenable product that doesn't hurt to listen to. You, I think that's what really matters. Is like, are my ears getting tired trying to listen and figure out what's going on? Like, that's all that matters. And then when it comes to mixing and mastering, man, like, I think the most important thing is learn how to use an EQ, bro. Like, for real. That's all I have to say, man. Just figure out the tool, or even just learn the DAW tools. But some DAW tools, though, like, at the end of the day, the only criteria I would say for mixing and mastering tools is workflow. Whatever helps you move fast, whatever you don't have to use that drains your cognitive, creative energy. Because the thing is, you're trying to have a finished song. You're not trying to do mixing and mastering as a career, which is also what I hate about like YouTube. A lot of this advice are these people that do this shit as a career. Bro, I make music at home. Like, the fuck? Like, I don't care. Get fuck out of here with that nerd shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about your analog warmth, dude. Can I do my shit quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about your emulation bullshit. I don't care about this is a recreation of this famous blah 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 bullshit, bro. Give me a nice interface that's not taxing on my brain. Hell, bro, another thing is, for me, yo, fuck out of here with having a bunch of compressors. Screw that shit, man. I say just get FabFilter, bro. That shit modern. Use that one single compressor. Learn to use that one single compressor, because then you don't want to think about, bro, let me sit down. Listen, there's like a I don't know, bro. There's a different types of compressors, bro. That shit I don't care about. Same thing with reverbs, bro. People keep making these stupid ass reverbs, bro. I don't care, man. Like how different can a reverb be, bro? Like, I don't care, bro. All I care about, throw that reverb in to make some space in the mix. Call it a day, man. Like, dead ass. Like, you don't have to. Like, I don't care about the differences in reverb. But I will say though, the only reverb that made me go like, wow, I enjoy this, has been like the Seventh Heaven, whatever. But besides that though, like, bro, like, whatever gets you going fast as fuck. You know, otherwise fuck all that shit, bro. Like, you use, it's clutter. Pick your favorite UI, lock in, and do what you gotta do. Don't drain yourself, you know. When you're going from nothing to something is a long process, so you gotta lock in. The other thing I would say is, don't stress about, the other important thing is, the reason why I definitely say lock in and filter strongly, especially when it comes to one shots, because first of all, you need a workhorse synth. I don't care about those spaceship looking ass shit. I don't care about modular. I'm not a synth nerd. There's people that their entire music making process is fiddling around with sound design. That is not me. I like to make songs, complete package. That is what I like to do. All right, pick a workhorse synth that makes sense with your brain. Choose Serum. Choose don't even bother with all the Iterio shit. I mean, except I would say pick Serum, or pick fuck, bro, I'm trying to remember what that one was called. It's Serum or the Arterial one though. I don't know. It's their wavetable synth. Why? Because that one's UI is nice, and the other plus side of Serum is that you could do a lot of cool ass shit. You know, you could have a lot of cool themes and stuff like that. So if you get bored, you know, just switch the theme, and now you can personalize it. But the reason why I say Serum though, sorry, I got sidetracked, is you take your one shots, you drag that shit into Serum, boom, now you understand how that waveform works. You don't have to learn sound design, just learn to make the sounds you like. And the best way to do that is by collecting one shots you like and drums you like, dragging that into Serum, seeing how it's made, and then edit that. You know, it might not be perfect, but it's good enough to get you going, and then you modify a little bit. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say. Like, don't bother with that shit.